Okay, guys, I'm gonna start recording. It should let you all know on you all's end that I am recording now. I'm Christopher Edwards, and I'll be presenting my second project scoring report from our iReady data here at Booker T. Washington Middle School in Mobile County Public Schools. Just a little background on the demographics of Booker T. Washington Middle School. We serve 223 students, 6th through 8th grade. Booker T. Washington Middle School was placed on the bottom 50% of all schools in Alabama for overall test scores. Math proficiency was at the bottom 50%, and reading proficiency was at the bottom 50%. And these scores were taken during 2018, 2019. We really hadn't had any scores since COVID, and we all know COVID started in 2020, March of 2020. So the state exempt schools for scores being reported in. The percentage of students achieving proficiency in mathematics is 22%. And that score again was in 2018, 2019. The percentage of students achieving proficiency in reading and language arts is 14%, which is lower than the state average here in Alabama of 45%. The student-teacher ratio here at Booker T. Washington Middle School is 22-1, and that's a little bit higher than the state level. The minority enrollment here at Booker T. Washington Middle School is 98%, which is African American, Black African American. All right, just a little background on the assessment. The data that I used, it was the iReady assessment diagnostics test, and the iReady test is a web-based adaptive diagnostic assessment and instructional program. Basically saying when the children take the iReady diagnostics test, it measures what grade level they're on. So if you have a student and they measure out on a 3rd, 4th grade level, what happens is the iReady diagnostics, it tailors the child's education and test to their level of learning. All right. When taking the iReady diagnostics test, what the diagnostic results were, they ended up grouping the students in groups 1 through 5. Group 5 meaning the children are on grade level. Group 1 meaning that the children are very severely below grade level. So out of the 7, I ended up using the 7th grade diagnostic results. In group 1, we had 25 students that were in group 1. Group 1 indicates that the students are considerably below level in phonics. Intensive instruction and development decoding skills need to be addressed with those students. We didn't have any students in group 2. Group 3 had 75 students. Those students are considerably below level in vocabulary. They would need more intensive instruction in this area. In group 4, we had 6 students. Those students are on grade level in phonics with a larger vocabulary and low comprehension. And in group 5, we had 2 students in group 5. They are on grade level in phonics and are above grade level in reading comprehension. All right, this is a graph of the scoring of our 7th graders. As you can see, in group 1, we had a little over 20. In group 2, we had none. And then in group 3, we had a little over 70. In group 4, we had 6. And in group 5, we had 2. All right, educational issues that are facing students here at Booker T. Washington Middle School. The school is not fully staffed. At times we may gain a math teacher, but like this year we lost a math teacher because she left before the end of the school year. Also, we're missing a teacher in English language arts. High suspension rate. We do have a high suspension rate here at Booker T. Washington Middle School, especially dealing with behavior. COVID-19, we're still having outbreaks of COVID-19 here at the school. So you would have maybe 4 or 5 students. They may end up missing a week to 2 weeks because of COVID-19. Loss of routine and structure. This is something that has affected all of our students due to COVID-19. The 7th graders that we have in the building this year, they never saw a middle school. They were 5th graders the last time they were in a traditional school. Classroom size, that's another thing. As you all saw earlier in the state report, our class size was like 22 to 1, and the state average is like 17 to 1. And with us not having enough teachers here at Booker T. Washington Middle School, that number is probably around 29, 30 to 1. Our areas of celebration with our students taking the diagnostics exam. 2 students were in group 5, that's the highest you can score on the iReady diagnostics. We had 6 students in group 4, and that wasn't bad. We can work on getting more students to that level because we have 25 students in group 3, 1 placement domain from achieving up to group 4. So 25 of our students in group 3 are right on the cusp of moving up to group 4. Our areas of weakness. Our comprehension informational text. That was one area that we were pretty weak in, as well as comprehension of literature. This is just basically getting our children to read a little bit more than what we are doing. We have some initiatives here at Booker T. Washington Middle School now where we're starting to pick up our reading, but that's another area of weakness where we are behind on. Also, vocabulary. We have to get our vocabulary. Like I said, a lot of this is stemming from our students being at home and not being in a traditional school setting. All right, steps forward. These are some of the steps that we're going to take to move forward. Our informational text. We're going to begin with our teachers asking questions before, during, and after reading. That lets the readers read with a purpose and not just sit and read. Comprehension with literature. They will start to read literature in advance. They will start to select text at students' instructional levels as well. Now, when I'm reading the diagnostic results, I do see where some of our students are on 1st and 2nd grade level, and they are in the 7th grade. Some of this data I really can't take seriously, only because some students you have, they may just play in taking the test or zoom through the test. So then that's when you have to go and watch the how much time did they take on this test. If they took 3 minutes to answer 40 questions, that child did not read not one time, and you may need to go get them to take the test back over again to get a true score on them. Our vocabulary, use read alouds, even with intermediate students. I love this because even here in middle school, you can actually label everything. And when I say label everything, it's sort of like the movie Color Purple when Lasili was learning how to read and she labeled everything. that can get our students' vocabulary up. And that's it for tonight. Thank you all for coming in and sharing and listening to my presentation.
You're welcome. Good night.